Welcome to Frank's Fractal Jam, a series where I invite inspiring artists and musicians from the Fractal community for an interview and a musical jam. Each guest shares a free Fractal preset available to download on the G66 website. So let's get started.
And listen to singers. Don't listen just to guitar players. I mean, That's when the things got really interesting.
Today my guest is Marco Sfogli from Italy, a world-class guitarist known for his work with James Labrie of Dream Theater, as well as being a member of the Italian progressive band PFM and Icefish alongside Virgil Donati on drums and Alex Argento on keyboards. Marco is a master of melody, phrasing, rhythm and shredding. He's a major influence and an inspiration to guitar players all over the world. His solo work showcases his incredible musicality, while his many JTC lesson releases highlight just how versatile and powerful his playing and musical knowledge really is. So I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome to Frank's Fractal Jam. Ciao Marco, it's great to see you here. Thank you so much for joining Frank's Fractal Jam.
You're welcome, man.
How did you first get into fractal audio and what made you stick with it over the years?
That was a long time ago. That was back when I think the XFX standard, the first one, came out, and
15 years ago or something.
Yeah, more than 50. It was right after I did my first solo album. So it was like maybe 2010, 2009, 10. That was the time that I got my first unit. I heard about it. Probably it was some forum that was suggesting the unit, and it was groundbreaking, the new unit on the block, and it was really amazing what it could do. And I do remember I sold some of my stuff to get one. And I got one, and then I got the Ultra, and then I got the 2, and then I got the all the FM, the AX8 and FM8, all the pedal boards, and then the FM3 and the FM9. So I didn't look back. It's just amazing.
Marco, can you tell us a little bit about your different setups? Do you combine fractal audio with real tube amps, for example, something like Mezza Barba?
All right.
And when you use fractal, do you also use cap IRs from, for example, brands like Mezza Barba or others?
Right. Well, I've pretty much tried them all. I tried, back when I was still touring with real amps with those guys, with those guys, with the Mezza Barba amps. Back when stages weren't as silent as they are now, so I used to run the real amps through the FX8. Okay. The pedal unit, and it was a great setup. The front of house engineer loved it, and I could still use my real analog tube amps with my digital effects and all the pre and post effects in my signal chain. Then for some reason, when they went silent, when they decided maybe those amps are very loud, so you can't just keep them on 2. They have to be cranked up, and to be cranked up, 100-watt head on a stage, it needs a lot of volume. And so we decided at some point to just go direct, and that's when I brought the FM3 and 9 into the picture. So I'm right now with PFM, with the band, I'm using the FM9 direct. And since I also went in ear, that's probably better for the overall sound, because I can have my stereo effects and my stereo rig in my headphones, and I can hear it like a record, and nobody's get hurt. I mean, the keyboard players around me, they don't get hurt, so
everybody's happy.
The engineer is happy. It's just 2 XLR cables and everyone is happy. I can bring it back home with me when I'm done if I need, or I just can leave it to the backliners. So you know, it's been a really nice new way to go on stage for me.
Yeah, was for me as well, but I love it. I love it. I do a lot of different gigs, from guitar duo, acoustic, to musical gigs or whatever, and I'm always so fast, and the front of house guys are happy, and it's and the sound is always the same, so it's really
consistency.
Cool. Do you use FRFR caps then live on stage, maybe for feedback purposes? Or?
Not really. Just direct, and I have just an old school wedge in front of me if needed, if my in-ear goes down. So I have like a copy of my in-ear sound in my wedge. So if anything, happens, I can still hear, both the Fractal stuff and the other guys' stuff. So I don't use FR cabs.
Okay. And the cab IRs, do you have your own cab IRs made by Piangelo, Mezzabarba, or do you have different ones?
Well, I pretty much use stock cabs. I use some of there are actually a few that I bought. There's some of the York Audio stuff that I really like.
Yeah, and awesome as well. Yeah.
And lately, I came out with my official pack for even for Fractal from Boutique Tones that has built-in presets and cabs. So we actually tone matched the sounds that I'm using and made like customized IRs for those presets.
Yeah, I know that very well. I bought it.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, my play. It sounds amazing, but
cool. Thanks.
But the patch you just sent is amazing as well. It's so simple. So that's the next question. I noticed that in your preset you are not using a boost or drive block, and that's unusual for a rock or metal player. What's the idea behind that, and how do you still achieve that rich tone with enough gain? And which amps do you prefer in your Fractal units?
Okay, so I think for that particular one, I went for a Bogfish Brown.
Yes.
Was it? Well, the Bogfish has already tons of gain anyway. So if you crank the gain a little bit, higher than usual, you still get plenty of sustain, but if I do put like an overdrive before, I lose some kind of low ends. Every time I add an overdrive, even in the real world, you kind of tend of losing that fatness on the low end. So on some amps, I still prefer not using overdrive. There are certain amps that I like to push with an overdrive, like Marshall amps. Yeah. If I'm like going for a plexi sound or maybe a JMP1 sound, or even something more aggressive like a PV sound, like a 6505 sound, I may use a boost in front. But on some amps, I just like the way it reacts on the bottom frequencies without an overdrive. That's why I still prefer not using it.
Marco, what are you currently working on? Any new albums, tours, projects coming up, new bands, or?
Well, I have a band with Virgil Donati, Icefish. Yeah. So
awesome, yes.
I'm actually right now I'm recording the guitars for the new record, which I hope to be ready by the end of 2026. I hope so. It depends on the rest of the guys. I'm actually doing guitar, recording guitars. So then it depends on Virgil and Alex and Andrea, the singer and bass player. But all the songs are done, so it's just a matter of recording them, and that's my main focus right now in the studio. Live, well, the usual things, doing clinics and playing with PFM, which is the band I'm currently gigging with, and not much, trying to keep it busy as much as possible.
Okay, awesome. Do you still give lessons?
Every now and then, just to select friends. I mean, there are some people that just begged me enough to get lessons that I couldn't say no anymore. I didn't have any more excuses, so I had to say yes. Oh. And there's just a couple of guys that I'm giving lessons to, and but they are more of close friends than students, you know.
Yeah, same here. I only have 3 students or something like that, and we are friends.
There you go.
Marco, you are truly one of the most melodic and expressive guitar players in modern guitar. What advice would you give guitar players who want to improve their phrasing and articulation and really learn how to tell a story through their playing instead of just playing notes or noodling around?
Well, the first thing comes to mind is to sing your melodies. Try to sing your melodies in the head. Try to sing them and try to reduce the gap between your thoughts and your playing by, experimenting and playing and practicing. So try to sing your melodies and try to play them on the guitar. And this is what I did back in the day, trying to come. And the more you actually think about melodies, the more you sing your melodies, the better they'll come.
Yeah,
it's always a process, in the works, and then of course there are plenty of things you can do by balancing the melodies with technique and starting passages and slowly starting passages and then mixing them with your melodic ideas. But the very first thing I did was actually sing your melodies and try to reproduce them on the guitar and listen to singers. Don't listen just to guitar players. I mean, that's when the things got really interesting for me, is when I stopped listening to guitar players and started being attracted by singers and the way they sang, certain singers, and tried to reproduce those melodies on the guitar. It's just it's not easy at first, but the
it's
practice.
Not easy, but a great advice. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, it's a great exercise.
I sent you the backing track a few days ago, and you did an awesome recording solo over it. How's the working process? How did you create melodies, or do you need a motive?
Well, the song itself was very structured in a way. It had an intro, it had what I call a verse, and then a chorus, and then another verse, and then we did a trade-off with solos. And so I tried to, first of all, I listened to the song like 10, 15 times just to get into the vibe. It's not a complicated song. It's very. I see it as a very poppy rock song. So it has easy chords, no real difficult changes. So it's very easy to sing something on it. So I listened to it like 10, 15 times, and I started getting into a possible melody or something that worked. As opposed to just noodling on a guitar, going for the first take and straight off. I just kind of thought about it a little bit. Then I hit record it like 2-3 takes, and I just something, and that's basically the one that you're hearing. So the last part, the trade-off part, is much more on the spot, is much more improvised. The first part is a little bit more thought before, So I had a little bit of melodies that I wanted to
Yeah, you have the
play
same
on it.
motives.
Yeah.
And this kind of chorus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Reminds me of your awesome recordings, all the awesome recordings. People
Thank
must
you.
buy your recordings. They are so. I think 2 years I heard only Marco Sfogli. It was crazy. So, but now we have the final and maybe most important question.
Sure.
Do you know the Neapolitan pastries sfogliatelle?
There you go.
And I was wondering, is that named after you?
No, I think they come way back. You know, it's a very popular pastry, and I love them. By the way, I love them. You know, sometimes you know you find that connection with names. You know, that's a bit. No, I love them, and it's a bit odd because I don't live there anymore. So I kind of northern, and I don't have access to all those awesome pastries that I was grown with. But I love them. Love them.
Yeah, I have to try them for sure. Now I'm hungry,
Oh, yeah.
so we have to stop the interview.
Import stuff.
Marco, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time, recording the song, give your preset to the community.
It's been a pleasure,
Thank you
man.
so much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And thank you for the time.
Okay. Ciao.
Ciao.
See ya.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Thanks so much for watching Frank's Fractal Jam. You can download Marco's free fractal preset on the G66 website. Link in the description below. Who should I invite next? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any video. See you next time, and always remember, get your kicks at G66.